Check. Hope you're doing well, everybody. Real quick, just got a text from my dad. Yep, he's good. Hey, lots of conversation, lots of really good conversation going on. Nancy, just the person I was looking for. Lots of good conversation going on. Started on Friday. Nancy, I meant to go live and jam on this over the weekend, but I didn't. So I'm doing it right now. And I'm hoping very much that this makes sense to you, what I'm going to describe to you. But this is for anybody, and let me know if you can hear me all right. This is for anybody in groups, particularly, last week there was a really interesting exchange that went on, if any of you caught it, between myself and a former member of this group in terms of them doing it wrong, not being able to take feedback. And I don't need to go into all of that, but this, thank you, Claudia, I appreciate it. This will really help to explain what people are doing so wrong in so many groups. Now, Nancy, that's not about you. That is about this person that has been shown the exit in our group, or from our group, I should say. So let me get in here a little bit so you can see me a little bit better. Okay, there we go. So yeah, let me just walk through a little bit on a 30,000 foot view. From that scale, as you're looking down over everything going on in your coaching business, particularly using the natural enrollment method, here's what you have to remember. It is a method of being that applies in all areas, on all platforms. This literally will apply to everything. What do I mean by that? Well, if you follow Unit 4, okay, very carefully, if you follow Unit 4 very carefully, you'll see that I actually developed a large part of this by doing it live with real people at conferences. That's why I explained how to do it on Facebook by talking about how to do it at conferences and seminars. Because I would literally connect with people at these seminars and conferences that I was going to. And it's the slower way, because you have to pay for and invest in an airline ticket and flying and renting a car and a hotel and conference fees and being there. But when I was there, that's like being in a group, being at a conference, right? Because you've got a bunch of people gathered together in a group, literally a group of people at a conference center or at a hotel for a conference for a weekend with a similar interest, just like a Facebook group. And so this natural enrollment method, this isn't just about Facebook groups and growing your coaching business on Facebook. It's about a way to be in your business where you're engaging with people and you're building relationships. And that is the foundation of the natural enrollment method. You're building relationships, and you're building relationships. And in that process, you're doing it on a larger scale. And in that process, you are selecting, and other people are self-selecting if they should connect with you. Does that make sense so far? So this is about connecting and building relationships. It's about engaging with people. It's about escalating that engagement. It's about being a leader, right? Being an influencer, being a person of authority in your area. It's about ending up having a direct conversation with someone so that the right people enroll and pay you to coach them. So you can do it from any platform. Now let's take groups, for example, okay? The point of being in a group isn't to be seen as the expert or an expert. The point of being in a group isn't to call people out on stuff. The point of being in a group is twofold. Connect with people and help them. Connect with people and help them. And how you help them is really going to depend on what you do. But I like helping people by giving them support and showing them options, showing them a different perspective, showing them a different vantage point for what they're going through at that time. So when I go into a group, I don't go into a group and try to establish myself as the smartest person in a group. Because one, rarely am I ever, including this group that's mine, rarely am I the smartest person in a group. So I don't mind telling you, that's not a mindset issue. That's not a mental framing issue. You can pull the data. There are people with higher IQs in here than me. And that's okay. I don't go into any group trying to be the expert, trying to be the know-it-all. Because nobody likes a know-it-all. Nobody likes a know-it-all. A know-it-all isn't someone who just knows it all. A know-it-all is someone who knows it all and they want to make sure you know that they know it all. No one likes that person, right? Absolutely, Jeff. 100%. 100%. For example, I introduce people to you in this group because they can all benefit from you. Everyone in here, I think, you can benefit from your depth of knowledge. So I'm not the know-it-all, not even in my own group. Now I exercise a little bit more authority and I speak with a little bit more leadership because I might care more than anybody else in this group. That might be true. So whenever I go into a group, I want to connect with people. I want to support people. Like Jeff said, I want to introduce them to somebody else who might be able to help them with a very specific problem. But what does it mean in a Facebook group to connect with people? It means you're adding them as friends. You're adding them as friends. This could be, in groups, this changes everything. Because if in a group you're adding them as a friend, where do you show up as an expert? Where do you show up as a leader? On your personal profile. You are the expert on your personal profile. So be it. Be the leader on your personal profile. Tell people the way it is on your personal profile. Because when someone adds you from a group and they go, who is this person? And they go and look. And what you're saying and your messaging from your posts and your content on your Facebook profile, when you're describing their life and what they're experiencing better than they can, they go, that person totally gets me. I'm going to follow him. I'm going to follow her. I'm going to come back. I'm so glad they had him. I wonder if they can help me. That's the place you want to be as you're building relationships with folks. Okay? I wonder if they could help me, right? And that's because you're so resonating. Your content, your messaging is resonating, right? Because you're deep inside their head, you're deep inside their heart. Why are you there? Because you care. Okay? So when you're in a group, and this is referencing back to some of the people that I escorted out of the group. The biggest mistake they made is they wanted to be smarter than everybody. And they wanted to stand out. But it wasn't in a good way. And it wasn't very helpful. Just frankly, it wasn't helpful. And it was a little combative. So I showed them the door. Don't be that person in a group. Be this instead. If you're going to try to stand out, then just be helpful, right? Be the person who is on the journey, but several steps ahead in the groups that you're in. Be that person. You're on the journey, but you're several steps ahead. Literally what Nick Peterson is an expert at, right? Just always sharing helpful advice because he's on the same journey as you, but he's a few steps ahead. Does that make sense? So when you're that person, you're continuing to add people, continuing to connect, continuing to build a relationship. This is vital to the natural enrollment method. This is vital to enrolling clients. Is you're a real person. They discover that. They connect with you. You're adding value to their lives. You're helping them. But you don't have to be a know-it-all to do it. In fact, that's probably going to have an adverse effect. it's probably going to have an adverse effect. How do I know? I am you. That's exactly right, Jeff. That's bingo, right? I use the rear view mirror all the time, Jeff. And you're going to see me go live on this a little bit later about when your perfect or ideal potential client is from your rear view mirror. There are tools like a journal that we can use to really capture where we've been and resonate. It is excellent, Cindy. So when you go into a group, first of all, realize with natural enrollment, a group is a group. It doesn't have to be on Facebook. It could be a meetup. It could be a networking event. It could be a conference. It could be a seminar. It could be a church. It could be a coffee shop. It could be a music festival. Are you with me? This is not just, I focus on Facebook because that's where we're all at right now. Okay, so in this group, that's what I'm talking about often. You can apply this to anything in life. And if you go back and you watch Unit 4, you'll see that's exactly what I've done. I've talked about it from several different areas of life. All right. Second, don't be the know-it-all. Just be the person who's several steps ahead. That's always really helpful. That's the person somebody wants to end up hiring. And then, yes, your messaging has to be on point. Sometimes you can be off and get low interaction and low engagement because you haven't put in the work to know your potential client inside and out. All right. And this is where the rear view mirror analogy is fantastic, right? Feel that. And then just show up and serve every moment in front of you and serve every person that you can in front of you and get into those conversations. Have that escalated engagement. Ask really, really good questions. Here's what won't happen. This won't happen. And this is what I'll end with. You'll never walk into a group, make a powerful post as an expert, and get people sending you a message saying, can I hire you? Because it takes more than one interaction for someone to want to hire you. It just does. All right. That's not my opinion, by the way. There's data on that. Lots of data on that. So hope you find this helpful. Nancy, I'm not saying you're making any of those mistakes. Okay. I wanted to come in and explain to you a lot about what we were talking about. So in closing, you could be in a knitting group, you could be in a sailing group, you could be in a golfing group, and you're just making connections with people and adding them as friends and building relationships. Because some people who sail need help with their health. Some people who golf need help with their health. Some people who knit need help with their health. And if you're a health coach, who are they going to come to? The expert, who's an expert because they've been to your profile and they are being influenced by your content on a regular basis. Yeah, they'll at least have the conversation with you. Make sense? Let me know. You're all awesome. I've got to roll. Appreciate you all. Jeff, thanks for your insight. Totally appreciate it.